Hello and welcome back, and today I'm going to do a very quick follow-up video to my mesh content and talk about two particular mesh devices, Google Wi-Fi and the TP-Link Deco. Now these two are two of the many mesh systems that I've been covering here on the channel over the past few weeks and months. I'm trying to figure out what is the best mesh router out there. I still genuinely believe that the Synology mesh system, the MR2200, is still the very best mesh network out there in terms of software and hardware, though it is a little bit expensive. But in all of my videos, there seems to be a real trend growing between these two devices because these cover two different kinds of mesh buyer. Now, in 2019, the majority of mesh buyers aren't actually business users. The majority of them are home users, people that have bought new homes, new build, old build, it doesn't really matter. And these people have bought a home and they were investing in Wi-Fi thinking, well, I've rented for ages and I had an old ISP router, but I want a smart home. I want to make sure that my house is ready to go for the next 5 to 10 years and I want to invest now. And so they start investing and looking into mesh networks. And these two devices correspond to two different kinds of buyer. The Google Wi-Fi system of mesh, although more expensive, gives you a much better tailored software approach. It's incredibly user-friendly and remarkably familiar to a number of us. But the TP-Link Deco system has two things going for it. One, it is damn cheap, with each one of these costing almost half of the Google ones. A single Google mesh pod costs £120 or £25, or I don't know what it is in dollars. It could change at any time. Brexit means Brexit. But, so ridiculous. But the TP-Link, on the other hand, is £180 for three. That's right, three of them. They go for about £70 to £80 a pop on their own, and you can get three of them for £180. Three of these, the Googles, are £330, an enormous disparity between them. So in terms of price, the TP-Link Deco 5 is still one of the most affordable mesh systems out there. And with AC 1300 coverage in the Deco and AC 1200 coverage in the Google Wi-Fi, there are a number of reasons why on a hardware and price level, lots of you are going for the Deco. So rather than like my other comparison videos go into an enormous amount of depth about these two, because I've already got the speed test videos out there, I've already got the software overview and the setup videos out there for you, and I encourage you to watch them. What I would talk about today is the importance of software versus hardware. Because the software that gets included in a number of these mesh systems, again, much like the Synology mesh system and more, is where the majority of that money is going in. In the case of Google Wi-Fi, your money isn't really going into the hardware. In terms of hardware, it's actually quite low rent. They're very similar indeed, the pair of them. They've both got 2x2 antenna configuration, that's 2x2 MIMO, with those antennas inside, 4 antennas. On top of that, they both arrive with a quad-core CPU, half a gig of memory and 4 gig of flash storage. Very similar indeed. In fact, both of them are dual LAN ports there on the rear. If I bring them to camera, try and bring that up for you guys. And both of them have require external power for full-time use. Again, very similar indeed. They both connect very straightforwardly and they both have mobile app only. So in terms of hardware, they're very similar. But in the case of the Deco, the reason it's so low priced is because of that software, because their software isn't as thorough. They've got lots of options, parental options and control options, but it's very low end and it's very user friendly, I'll give them that, and there's some nice speed test options in there too. But if you don't prioritize software and you just want something you can set up and forget, this is the one for you, because the Deco is just overall a much better purchase for people that just want to set up and forget. The configuration, analytics and family-friendly options on the Google Wi-Fi are phenomenal, and it is a great mesh system. But there's no denying that because you're spending so much on the software in terms of the Google Wi-Fi, that if you're not going to use it, you really are going to be wasting your money. And I hate to say it, because they actually cover a not dissimilar distance between them when in use. And our speed test and coverage tests came across as very similar indeed for both of these devices. What I will say, if you've got family, you've got children in the house or a large extended family of users or guests, you might utilize that software and not even know that you will on the Google. But if it's just for you and your partner, or you've bought your first house and your first kid isn't even born yet, you can get away with the Deco. It's got 3 years of warranty. You're not even going to need 24/7 setup. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. There's a couple of options during setup that I didn't really like. You have to sign up to TP Link for the first time to utilize it. The Google one, you've probably got a Google account already, you're fine. But ultimately, that is the difference between these two devices. I'm sorry this is such a short video unlike my other ones, but it just comes down to software versus hardware. And if you don't care about the software, then just Google Wi-Fi is wasted on you. I genuinely mean that. This is a smaller, easier, better hardware-enabled device, and at just 180 quid, it's just better overall. That said, I still believe that the mesh is the best. The Synology Mesh router system with Synology Router Manager still wins by a country mile, and I do recommend you checking out my videos on that. Again, I've got a couple more meshes coming in for future videos and comparing them. We've still yet to see anything topple the Synology from the top spot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this, and do let me know about what you need in your mesh setup in the comments below. Cheerio.